Funny thing, I grabbed this shirt this morning and I thought it was a perfect time to talk about this story. This week is about fear as a foundation, and I want to talk about how walking the Camino changed my relationship with fear. Now, I used to think that fear was something that was like bad and wrong, something that fear is stopping me from doing this. And it was a real survival victim mindset around fear. And my relationship with fear is completely opposite now. So instead of fear controlling my life and fear making my decisions for me by me not having any decisions or not making any choices because of fear, I now invite fear to come with me, and I recognize that it's a part of being human, that fear is there to keep us safe, to protect us. It's a protector. And I'm able to allow fear and welcome fear to come with me. So now, instead of going, I'm too scared to do that, I'm not going to think about that, or life's predetermined for me. Now I make choices, and these choices are what's empowering me to do the things that I would otherwise not be doing. And so I say things like, fear, I know you're trying to keep me safe. Walk with me. I'm leading. Come, all parts of you is welcome. I understand why fear is trying to keep me safe, but I'm walking anyway, and I'm going forward anyway, regardless of how much fear I feel, because I know really that fear is only in my mind. It's only my mind stopping me from doing what my heart really wants. And that's why this Camino story is so powerful, because it's a story of how I chose my heart's excitement over the panic of my mind because it was greater than the excitement of my heart based on what I've just found out about the change in beliefs, like how I realized that I was able to change my beliefs, that I realized that the universe is actually supporting me in my highest outcome. And the fact that I was able to change my beliefs was a very empowering thing. And so it helped me to realize that the universe supports my highest outcome. The universe always provides me with what I need. And so, like money is only one way in which something comes to you. There's other ways in which things can come to you. And so learning these new things, like that things can come to me no matter what, was how I was able to start working towards putting this into practice. I've got two kids. They're 5 and 8 now. They were 4 and 7 back then. I've got a wife. I've been married her for over 10 years now. And my life has looked very different to COVID after, losing my job, and my direction of my life has gone completely the opposite. And it's led me to this decision to do the Camino based on the fact that I was able to change my beliefs and remember who I am, and remember my worth, and remember that I've always mattered, and I've always belonged, and I've always had value, and that I've always been worthy of my own life. Then that's when things moved me towards, or I moved myself towards making the decision to walk my first Camino. And the the lead up to that was just, when I look back, it was just perfect. It was back in June. I met this guy in the States, and he just really untapped this remembering within me, and just unlocked this remembering within me that I was already worthy, that I didn't have to fight for a worth, I didn't have to work for a worth, that I'm as valuable now that I'll ever be, that life is about choices. Life is about an expansive feeling. We've done the contracting, survival, limiting thing for too long. And so I've done it for too long. So I was like, no, I want out. I want to do expansive things. I want to have choices. And having just learned these things, that I could make choices, that what I focus on grows, that are what I believe comes true, I was given this opportunity to put that into practice through the Camino. I'd never heard of the Camino before. I was it was June last year that I met the guy in the States, and then by July I heard about the Camino, and there was something in my heart. It just like exploded out to me, and I'm like, this is so for me. And I was unemployed. I was looking for work. I was doing all the things to try and find work. I was volunteering everywhere. I was volunteering at like 4 or 5 different places at one time at a time. I was doing all these things to like figure out what it is that I was trying to do. What is it that was supposed to be doing? And so this Camino came out as the blue, And even though it made no sense, I'm like, well, this is me spending money, not earning money. This is me. I'm like, how am I going to do that? Like, it's not even possible. But this excitement in my body, this excitement in my heart was just so loud. And it was just this build up to making this decision. And those that knew me around then and knew what kind of journey I'd come from, what kind of religious trauma and fear and all these low vibrational experiences that I've had in the past, and how much I've evolved in the 2 years that I was in Tasmania, to be able to get to a point where I can make this decision and go, I really believe that I'm meant to be on this Camino, even though I knew it was financially impossible. My mind was like, no, it's not possible. It's not a thing. But the panic of my mind by sight was quietened by the excitement of my heart. And there was this excitement that got me to commit. And I remember that the afternoon um, I had just enough money left to pay the deposit. And my wife was like all on board. She's like, this is so you. She said, this is, you're supposed to do this. And it's this decision to do this was, even though it was scary, it felt so right. It felt so right because I leant into my heart space and I just was like, I was feeling into it. That was the big difference. I was able to get to a point in my life where I could actually feel what a decision like that would feel like. It was exciting. Yes, it was nerve wracking. Yes, I was anxious. Yes, I was worried. But I realized that fear wasn't something to avoid. It was something to invite along the ride. Come with me, fear. I'm walking anyway. Come with me. I'm leading. I know you're trying to keep me safe, but I'm leading. So come with me. And so it was brought up to this point where I was able to go, I'm ready to walk. I'm ready to commit. So I paid the deposit with just enough money to pay the deposit. And I had to commit that day and pay the deposit. And so I paid it. And so my mind's like panicking, freaking out. But my heart's like, was like relieved. It was like this feeling of just expansiveness and just endless possibilities. That's what really, it was like this choices, endless possibilities, excitement. It was so different to 2, 3 years ago, where everything was like too predetermined and just full of fear. And so the decision to go just was really, even though it was difficult, it was kind of easy because I had already changed my beliefs and I already knew that the universe was supporting me, that life supports me in the decisions that I make. So if I feel like in the past, and I compared it in the past. I'm like, in the past, I didn't feel worthy. So I didn't make the decision. So that life supported me in that way. I didn't feel valuable. I didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't feel these things. So I made the decisions or I didn't make the decisions that supported that. And I could see evidence. I could think back and go, oh, that life did support me then, even though I had those limiting beliefs. And now I've changed my beliefs and I changed the fact that money comes to me endlessly and effortlessly through endless ways, not just through one way, through one job, through one work, endlessly in endless ways. And that change of beliefs that the universe always gives you what you need when you need it. It's exactly when you need it. You'll never be late with a need. So it goes back to defining your need. So the decision to go was an opportunity for me to put this into practice and go, actually, this is really, even though this is nerve wracking, I have no idea it's going to work, but it's going to happen. And so it was the leap of faith. I've got just enough money left, having 2 kids and being thought of irresponsible. And I know that in my heart, I'm like, I've always been a responsible dad. I've always been a responsible provider. So it's up to me to just go, whose story am I writing? Am I writing someone else's story or my story? And have the courage to write my story. And so as I took a step by step, everything started lining itself up around my Camino and getting the gear, starting to getting the shoes to train. I even decided to go barefoot shoes. So I had to retrain my body to walk in barefoot shoes. And all these things. And I made the decision in July. And by end of September, or 2.5 months later, I was in Spain, ready to walk the Camino. And I was there for 33 days. And it was a life transforming Camino. And I even ran out of money at the end. And but like I always had what I needed when I needed it. I always had a place to stay, always had transport, always had food. I always had these things, even if it wasn't a lot at the end. But I would do it 10 times over if I had to. But I don't have to because I realize that life supports me in what I believe and the choices that I make. This is an extremely powerful thing of freedom, and the freedom that I felt to be able to choose this for myself and actually walk this journey for myself. And it was a time where at the end of it, it was the first time in my life that I saw myself as a human being, as a human being, because I'd always be serving other people. And it was the first time in my life that I truly, deeply loved and accepted who I am. You know, not being afraid to show myself affection. You know, I love me and I'm proud of me. I'm proud to be me. And it was such a beautiful journey. And every step was just so, there's endless stories. Walking with three other guys from Australia and then walking the last 3 days by myself. And those last 3 days just cemented everything in together. Walking it, like we walked most mornings in silence, woke up early, packed our stuff. It was so simple. It was like this journey on being in the moments, being in the present moment, enjoying, looking at birds and listening to sounds and not being on our phones and just enjoying life, walking from town to town, immersing ourselves in the culture, laughing so hard we've never laughed so hard in our lives, having so much fun because we're just living now. And we just, we did group check-ins, we did meditations, we did breathing. We just savored the journey, savored the journey. And it was that journey that just exploded life for me. It was like, actually, this is the other side of fear. The other side of fear is life. The other side of fear is choices, is action, is self belief. All these things that are driving up and moving myself out of the old thinking and walking into the new way of thinking where I can just go, I'm expanding myself. I'm allowing life to to show me what's available. And I'm filled with choices now rather than living a predetermined script. I'm filled with choices, and these choices support me in the life that I'm living right now. And it was just so transforming. And even though it was difficult at times, the money thing or the got the wife and two kids at home and worried about them and just having to really surrender that and let go and trust because my wife was 100% on board, the kids were on board, I was on board, and everything was supporting me even though my mind was like making all these other logical things. It was an illogical decision, it was an illogical journey, it was a heart-led journey. It wasn't something that I had to think about. And so that's where this excitement for life really started because I started really believing that what I wanted to do could happen because I believed that it could. I believe that the universe work and life sets itself up around me based on my beliefs because I know in the past that when I believed that I was worthless, that I had limited resources, limited money, limited career opportunities, or whatever it was, limited circumstances, limited community. That's the limited experience that I had. And then I changed everything by bringing it with me because I brought fear with me. I didn't reject fear. I didn't go, I'll leave you at the door. I said, come with me. I'm walking this anyway. I know you're trying to keep me safe. And that's where the fear as a foundation comes through this week, this start, because when I shifted through fear, life really took off for me and it completely transformed. And the fact that I was able to walk the Camino based on my change of beliefs, that I believe that I was actually able to do this, that's when things became really beautiful for me. And I started to enjoy this journey of life. I really started being present being present with my kids, being present with myself, being present with my wife, being present to community, being present to conversation, being present, being present to the moment, whatever the moment has to offer, and I stopped rejecting this idea that um, there's only set out things, or like the, there's only the things that are acceptable. I'm like, no, actually, I can make it about me being in this journey and making choices and choosing a life that I actually am proud of, and choosing a life that's bringing me joy and helping me grow and bringing me these great feelings of expansiveness. So this week, when we talk about fear as a foundation, I want you to know that fear isn't there to stop you. It's not there to stop you. It's there to walk with you as you choose your own path. And important it is that it's important for you to take small steps forward, and start changing your relationship with fear. Start inviting fear to come with you and go, I understand why you would be trying to protect me because of things in the past and because of the things that I used to do and the journey I used to walk. And so you start inviting it. So you start asking, so a reflection that you can have is, what's one thing you'd do if you let your heart's excitement outweigh the panic of your mind? What is it that you're really stopping yourself from doing? What is it that you're stopping yourself from doing because of fear? Because when you realize that it's not fear that's stopping you, it's you that's stopping you, then you invite fear with you. You realize fear is a human expression. It's a human experience. It's a human thing to feel fear, but it's what we do with it that helps us make the decisions or helps us stay in cycles. And I was done with cycles. So I'm like, okay, fear, come with me now as I journey on this beautiful journey. So something to think about. Think about the things that you're stopping yourself from doing that are actually exciting, that feel like you. Notice the conversations you're having with people. What lights you up? Notice things around you. The world or the universe is always talking to you. Just like I was being spoken to this morning, even I didn't even consciously think about it. 2, 3 days ago, I thought, great time to talk about Camino, but it just didn't line up. And this morning, I didn't even think about it. I just grabbed this shirt, walked the dogs, came back, and it just clicked. Oh, I'm excited to talk about Camino. And there was another reference to Camino, which I forgot. But if you pay attention, realize that when you pay attention to what life's actually trying to show you, not everything around you, not the reels around you, not the videos around you, not the viral things, not the latest trends, what the world's trying to show you through your lens, through your world, then you'll start seeing that there's actually choices in there. There's choices in there for you. And that's life is meant to be lived through your choices and through your lens, because you have a unique perspective, a unique story that deserves to be shared. And so, if this resonates with you, stay tuned, because we're only getting started. This is only the beginning of what I have set out. And as you stick with me, you'll realize that life is meant to be lived, that life is meant to be experienced, and that there's endless choices. You're just remembering your way there. Have a beautiful day.